Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Rosy O, and today I would like to show the next level of crochet, kind of beginner crochet stitches. Today I'm going to show how to double crochet, and I'm going to be using this yarn. And for just kind of like a well, not update, but just some clarification why you have this I have this random yarn. I originally recorded this video, and until I actually reviewed it, I saw my microphone did not pick up the sound. Oops, sorry, I was fixing that. Did not pick up the sound of it pretty much wasn't on, and I have no idea why it didn't. Kind of gives me a warning. It didn't this time. So again, round two, I'm going to record this. And apologies for that. I just wanted to give an update because y'all going to see me grab a whole little bundle of yarn now. It was what the originally I worked on, but I wanted to redo it and start it from the beginning again. Sorry about that. If you're returning viewer, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, be ready to learn something new. And so with double crochet, it would be considered to me about the next step of any kind of crochet stitches. I have videos of single crochet, which is the beginning, and it's kind of the most beginner stitch. After that, I created a tutorial for half double crochet, which to me would be the next level. This one, for double crochet, it's in a majority of patterns you would ever see if you decide to pick up crochet and start a new project. So that's why it's a really important basic stitch to learn, because majority of the patterns you're always going to have at least one double crochet stitch snuck in there. And if you already know how to do it, you're set to, continue your pattern. So let's get to the tutorial and let's start with, learning the stitch. And yeah. So sorry about that for the random zoom in. Some information for this yarn. As you can see, there's a couple of speckles in it. It's a tweed one. So you can see the main color of the yarn, and you see all the little extra speckles. I love tweed yarn a lot. So I do have a lot of it, majority of it, but unfortunately, majority of the time, I don't see a lot of tweed anymore. Only starts popping out near the holidays because it's such a good yarn to use for like scarves and all that. That's I'm a big fan of this yarn. And this yarn is called Vanna's Choice. It is 100% acrylic yarn, and it is really soft. Well, to me, it's soft. It just feels a little bit rougher sometimes. It's because of the little extra bits on it, and it works really well on keeping you warm. The recommended hook size for this yarn is a 6.0 millimeter hook, which I'm really happy about. 6.0 millimeter is one of my most favorite hook sizes because it's a really not too large, not too small, and it always causes a lot of good drape whenever we're working on a project. And this color is called Marble Gray. So as you can see, the main color is gray, but you see the little tweed specks on it, and I really love the way it complements together. So let's get this stitch started. So the hook I'm using today is a Susan Bates hook. It's one of their kind of ergonomic hooks. And sorry, I'm trying to see if the camera will catch it. It's been acting up the last couple of days that it won't pick up anything that gets too close. Sorry about that. If I move back a bit, you might be able to see it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I need to correct that. Sorry. It's a Susan Bates. As I said, it's an ergonomic one. You can tell by the extra little cushioning that's here on the base. And it really helps, especially if you're, stitching a project and you know you're going to be crocheting for a couple hours. It's really good for your hands. And myself, I have carpal tunnel, so this helps a lot whenever I'm working on a project. And as I said, it's a 6.0 millimeter or USJ10. And if this isn't any kind of hook you might be able, you don't believe you'd be comfortable with, a majority of brands of hooks always have this size. So as long as you find it as 6 millimeter or as USJ10, you'll be able to find a different brand or anything to be using with this hook. So to start off with the stitch, you would need to make a slip knot, and let me show that just in case you're not familiar on how it starts. So all you would do is grab the end of your yarn, and you're going to make a little loop by holding 2, and then you're going to put the yarn or the end over the yarn, and then you would make a little sorry, a little loop, and you would pull it through, and then you would pull it through, and there you go, you made a slip knot. And sorry, I grabbed a little bit more, so that's why the end is really, really close, but usually you can grab it near more center to the yarn, so you can do that without having to worry, oh goodness, I pulled through, because you'll make a knot. So you can always just adjust it by pulling it up a bit, and there you go. You still have the little loop. All you do is get your hook and pull it through the loop, and then pull it again to tighten it, and there you go, you're good to go. Excuse me. So I'm going to start off with a chain of 20, just so I can make it a really large size and you can see the stitching really well once I've already kind of made it bigger. So all you would do is, in case you're not familiar with chaining, all you would do is pull the yarn over the hook, have it on the hook, and then pull it through the first loop. And there you go, you made your first chain. And then you would do it again. Over the hook, through the loop. There you go, you made 2. And then one more time, over the hook, through the loop, and there you go, you have 3. And then I'll just keep going on. Usually chaining is really, really easy. You just have to keep going until whatever number pattern asks, or whatever number you would wish if you're making your own. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Whoop, there you go. I have to get some more yarn. 16, and then 17, 18, 19, 20. And there you go. You can see the chain of 20 that I just made right now. And so since it's going to be double crochet, I'm just going to fix up my yarn real quick because it's getting a little bit tangled there. And I'm going to skip 2 chains and start in the 3rd, and I'll explain why I am starting with that. So all you would do is, and do not forget, the loop on your hook does not count as a chain. It's just a beginner loop. So whenever you're starting to count, never count this one, because if not, it'll mess up your pattern or mess up any projects that you're doing. It's just there to, it's the yarn just holding on to the hook. So you can see there's 1, 2, and 3. And what I'm going to do is yarn over on the hook, and then find that 3rd chain, go into the chain, and then yarn over the hook, pull it through the chain. You're going to have 3 little loops on the hook. Then yarn over the hook, pull through 2 loops. You're going to have 2 loops left on the hook. Yarn over, and then go through the 2 loops, and there you go. You made your first double crochet stitch. And as you can see, it's a little bit taller than the half double and the single, and this is why I prefer this stitch. It'll start working up a lot faster if you continue on. If I'm going to make, let's say, a scarf with this stitch, it'll start moving on and going a lot faster, since it's making the project a little larger. So let's go into the next chain. I'll show you again. So you're going to yarn over the hook, and then you're going to go through the next chain, which is this one. You go through the chain, yarn over the hook, pull through the chain. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over the hook, pull through 2 loops. You have 2 loops left on the hook. Yarn over the hook, pull through the 2, and there you go. You made another one. And you'll start seeing it kind of start working up, and they'll start just kind of not spacing each other. To me, it's kind of like a puzzle. They'll just start connecting together and just kind of spacing together, and you'll start seeing the whole little line of double crochet stitches, which works out fine once you keep working on your project. So let's do it again. So yarn over the hook, go through the next chain, which would be this one. Put the hook into the chain, yarn over the hook, and pull it through. There's 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over the hook, pull through 2 loops, 2 loops left on the hook. Yarn over, and then pull through the 2 loops, and there you go. You made your stitch. So if you're having issues seeing the chain, for me, I kind of can see it because I'm so, it's memorized on, like, oh, I know how my chains are. But in case you end up using, let's say, yarn like this, you can see how it's a little bit more difficult to see because there's a little extra bits of, of the colors, the little extra fibers and all that. If you're having a problem seeing your chain, as you can see, you can also, You can tell by looking at the base of the stitches. Every stitch is going to be pulling on a chain. So you see, oh, okay, this one has a stitch. So this one is a chain. And if in case you still can't see it, you can always just pull it a bit and you'll see the gap of the chain. See how you see a gap? So that's how I know this one is the chain. This one is a chain. It's a little harder with this, like I said, with this yarn, or in case you're using, let's say, a fluffier yarn or yarn that has a little extra, tinsel on it or anything. Sometimes it's a little hard to see the chains. As long as you can see the one that you ended with, you just go on to the next one. You can always pull it and you can see it. So let me show the stitch again. So you just yarn over the hook, pull through the chain, and then yarn over again, pull through the chain. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through the 2 loops. There's still 2 loops on the hook. Sorry. Yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, and there you go. You made your stitch. So in case when you're starting with a larger hook, when you're using a larger hook, sometimes you'll start seeing the stitches have big gaps like this. And that's because it's just a larger one. So it's pulling more yarn and causing more gaps. But as long as you keep working on your pattern or for example this, if you just keep working on the chain, you'll start the yarn automatically and just naturally start fitting. There you go, that's the word I was looking for. Fitting with each other, and you'll actually not notice the gaps anymore because the yarn just starts settling and you'll see it just disappearing, and you'll be wondering, hey, what happened to that gap? You won't see it. The yarn fixes itself, and it's really, really cool whenever you start seeing it once you start making the project bigger. So let me show one more time, and I'm going to go a little faster, okay? So yarn over the hook, go through the chain. Yarn again over the hook. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over the hook. Oops, sorry. Then go through 2 loops. Over the hook, go through 2. And one other thing I wanted to show, I showed it in my other recording. Oh, sorry. Showing especially if you're just starting with crocheting, if you're having problems going through the loops, I'll show you another way you can do it. Just in case you're having difficulty making sure not to pull the yarn from the loops when you're pulling through. So you're going to yarn over the hook, go into the next chain, which is right here. And then yarn over the hook, you have the 3 loops. So what you can do is yarn over the hook, pull through 1 loop, and then pull through the other. And there you go, same thing. You'll have 2 loops on the hook. You would yarn over, pull through 1, pull through another, and there you go. See, you already made the stitch. When I first learned the stitch, I had such a problem going through the 2 loops. I always kept pulling the yarn out. And then I learned, oh, you know what? I could just go through one by one. It's a little slower, but if you're just learning, trust me, you'll start picking up real quickly on just pulling automatically through the 2 loops without having to worry. So let me show that one more time. So yarn over the hook, pull through the chain, yarn over the hook, pull through again. You have 3 on the hook. Yarn over the hook, pull through 1 loop, and then pull into the next one. And you have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through the 2 loops, and ta-da, you finished it. And as you can see, it's starting to come out really nicely. So let me just move a little bit faster just so I can we can get over to the end of the row, and I can show you how to continue to the next row. So I'm going to go a little faster on this one. And the other thing with the chains as well, when you're starting to make a chain, just make sure you're not pulling the yarn really tough, like really kind of straining it a bit, because you'll start making the chain really tight and you'll have problems getting the hook through. Or you can't get the hook through, but you'll be fighting the never-ending battle against yarn, trying to make sure to get the hook through without fraying the yarn. So just make sure whenever you're chaining, it's a little bit more loose and not too loose that you'll end up with a really large gap in the chain, and you can have problems accidentally pulling extra yarn because the extra space in it will cause the yarn to drag a bit. So I'm just pulling some more yarn, and I'm just continuing on. See how easy the stitch works up once you've already picked up the basis of it. So And every now and then I too have to stop and see where the gap is because this yarn's a little it's a little sneaky about hiding where the little chains are since there's little extra um I was gonna say I don't know why I was gonna say sprinkles. Little extra bits of yarn on it, and it kind of confuses you a bit. So I'm at the last chain, as you can tell, this is where my last stitch is. So same thing, you just yarn over, go through the last chain, yarn over the hook, and then pull it through. You have 3 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And there you go. You have your little chain of little chain of double crochets. Love how this looks. I am going to make a scarf for this. I just really, really like how it looks in this yarn. Sorry. You fix this because it got a little tangled and I don't want to pull it and I don't want to make a knot in this. So to continue, all you would do is chain 2. And so you would just yarn over the hook, pull through the loop, and then yarn over the hook, pull through the loop again. And you would just turn the project. So for the 2 loops that I did, some patterns will ask you to do 2 whenever you're starting, let's say, a row that's going to be double crochet. The 2 chains come off as the same height as a double crochet. That's why they start off with 2. So if you were making a single crochet, you would just probably chain 1, which would be the same height as a single crochet. But since it's double, that's why it asks for the 2 loops. So some patterns treats the 2 loops as a double crochet stitch, meaning that you would not start off on the first stitch, which would be right this one. So you wouldn't start with the base, you would move on to the next one. And some patterns will ask you to disregard and you would just start off the base and then continue. But the majority of patterns I've used, they always ask you to treat it as 1, so I'll treat it as 1 as my sample. So I would skip this stitch and move on to the next one, which is this one. And in case you're having problems seeing the top of the stitch, you can always just pull it and you'll see the gap. This is the little gap you're going to work in. And if you're still having problems seeing the gap, you can always turn the project and you'll see the little V's on top. And all you need to do is make sure the hook is under the 2 V's, which you'll see the little V pattern on the hook. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So all you would do is yarn over. We're going to skip this first one and move into this one. And you would just put the hook into the stitch. And as if I turn it, you can see the little V on top. So this is how you know, oh, I'm in the stitch. If in case you're not sure, you'll just need to see those V's and it'll confirm for you. Because sometimes you can accidentally pull through. I can show you. You can actually pull through and just get 1. And when you see that, you're like, oh, no, let me back off. It needs to be a little V so you can see it on top. So you would yarn over and then pull under that. You would have 3 loops. Yarn over again, pull through 2 loops, and you would have 2 again. Yarn over and pull through the last 2. And there you go. You made your stitch. And for the next, to continue on, you do the same thing. So you would yarn over, go through the next stitch, and again, you can turn it, just confirm you have the V. Yarn over, pull under that, you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, you still have 2 on the hook. Yarn over, and pull through. And there you go, you made your next stitch. Excuse me. And if you're still having issues with the 2 loops, you can do the same thing like you did in the beginning. You would just yarn over, go into the stitch, just confirm with the V, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 on the hook. Then you would yarn over, pull through 1, and then pull through 1. And you have 2 left on the hook. Yarn over and pull through. Whoop, I went a little faster that time. Let me do that again. It's muscle memory. My hands automatically just do it. I'm like, wait, that's not what I'm showing. So let me show again. Sorry about that. So yarn over, go into the stitch, and again, just confirm with the little V. Then yarn over, pull into the stitch. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then pull through the other. And you have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and pull into the next. My hand again just wanted to pull through real quick. Like I said, it's muscle memory. Your hands will automatically start doing it on its own. You don't have to worry about um, that you might miss a loop. Your hand will take care of it for you. So let me show it one more time because I feel kind of bad. So yarn over the hook, you go into the stitch, and again confirm with the V. You see it right there. Yarn over the hook, pull through the stitch, you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over the hook, pull through one, pull through the other. And there you go, 2 on the loop. Yarn over the hook, pull through the loop, pull again, and there you go. And it's really, once you've already, you kind of feel in your hands that oh, I have to go through the 2. And my apologies, I'm gonna go a little faster. You can just go through the 2 and you just know, oh, I need to just go through the 2 loops. And once you already see that, you'll have no problem just going through. And when I first learned, I kept doing that trick over and over and over. And it is, don't get me wrong, you are going to go a little slower, but you're learning. So it's way better to learn taking your time than just trying to beat the clock and make sure, oh, I'm going to do this now. No, what's important is that you remember, hey, this is how the stitch is supposed to work. This is how the stitch is supposed to feel in your hands. Because trust me, muscle memory is going to be your best friend, and you're going to pick it up real quick. You won't even notice. Sometimes you'll just be doing it, and it's like, whoa, did I just make that? Because you start picking up everything that you learned. And I still kind of can do it, but just depending on the pattern. But there's some people that don't even look at their hands anymore, and they just work up like amazing projects. That's because of muscle memory, and that's just years and years of practice of making, this whatever you want over and over again. And trust me, down the line you won't really have that many issues anymore. So there's 2 stitches on the left, and this is a double crochet stitch, and this is the 2 that we skipped in the beginning. This is considered a double crochet for this example that I'm showing. So same thing, if it's treated like a stitch, I'm sorry, if we think of it as a stitch, we're going to treat it like a stitch. So all we have to do is we're going to go into this stitch and complete it. So same thing, just go into the stitch, yarn over the hook, pull through the stitch. You have 3 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So this one, the last chain, the second chain is considered the top of the stitch. So all you would do is yarn over, and you're going to go into the chain. The only thing is you need to make sure that you have 2 loops on top. You see the 2? It's acting as the V you would see on top of the stitch. So you would yarn over, pull through, and it'll be a little tougher sometimes, so just be careful so you don't pull the yarn under. And there you go, you have the 3. So yarn over, go through the 2, yarn over, go through the 2. And ta-da! It looks exactly like a stitch. Let me pull this up a bit. You can see it. It looks exactly like a stitch. This is important, and this is just a little tidbit I'm going to put. This is important because if you skip it and you end with this stitch and you continue on your project, you'll start seeing your project droop and start going diagonal. Trust me, I had a lot of scarves that did that to me because I ignored, or I kind of forgot there's one more stitch. I'm going to air quote this stitch. Because it's the 2 chains at the beginning. Just always remember this. And if in case you're not sure, you can always put in a stitch marker, or if you don't have stitch markers, just get like a little extra piece of yarn and just kind of slip it through and tie it really loosely, and okay, that is the last stitch when you can tell it's 2 chains. I did that a lot. I always put stitch markers just because I couldn't see, okay, where are those 2 chains? Now, trust me, you'll start recognizing it real quick. Oh, okay, that'll be a stitch. And that's my little tidbit about that. Just in case you start seeing your project going a weird angle, then you know that you missed either a chain 2 that probably started on the project, and you'll catch it. So that's pretty much all I have. This is, as I said, this was a crochet tutorial, and I hope it's been really helpful for a double crochet stitch. And trust me, you are going to love this stitch. And this is going to be a scarf because I love how this worked out. And again, if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, if you can do the usual, if you can like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that as well. And again, thank you for your time, and have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you.